Bad boy.
You have tuned in live to the Fly Sports and Entertainment Podcast in all the land. This is Stat Lines Matter. I'm your host, Mark Stewart. Here, as always, with my partner in crime, Mr. Rob Hunter Jr., the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth.
All that.
All that.
And COVID-free, and I'm boosted up.
Hey, that is such a controversial thing. I had someone, one of my followers on Instagram, sent me a happy birthday note and a video about how the vaccine is going to kill us all.
Oh, well,
So
and
the boosters don't be the thing that really.
he didn't want you to have too happy of a birthday.
Yeah, it's like calm yourself down and you know it's amazing. It's some real good conspiracy theories out there.
Man, I mean, look, YouTube is a trove of conspiracies. Like,
Yes.
I had one person tell me at my house that Obama was an actor and was trained by Harry Lennox.
Does he own Linux Mall?
No, Harry Lennox played. Harry Lennox was in. He was in Ray. He was the announcer.
Oh, that's Harry Lennox?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so she was like, he was an actor. He wasn't even like, he's not even a real political.
The dancer, the dancer from Five Heartbeats, the guy you talking about in the group?
The dancer from the Five Heartbeats. You talking about Flash is lonely at the top?
Nah, remember he was the dresser in the Five Heartbeats.
The dresser.
Yeah, his name was Dresser.
Well, what role he had?
His character was Dresser. He was in the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was way young then. Yeah.
He was the dude that he's like when dude was like, show me your best combination.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and does his little thing. That guy?
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Well, Harry Lennox, we can Google it. I mean, I'm sure y'all could put his face up.
I never knew his name. I always called him Dresser.
The only reason I know his name is because one of our old friends, you saw, tried to pitch me a movie with Harry Lennox being the star.
Oh, nice.
And he was trying to get it funded.
Oh, okay.
And when he first moved out to L.A., and I was like, who the hell is Harry Lennox? You know,
and then you had to kind of do your homework.
So that's the only reason I know a C or plus actor. Like, C list anyway. Yeah, Harry Lennox is actually a very good actor, but as far as like when people don't
He's
know.
in a network show right now too. He's doing this thing.
Get money.
Somewhere. Yeah. Shout out to Harry Lennox.
Hey, Harry, come on the show. And I think you should be an A-list, by the way. You know, so he
should have got an Oscar for Dresser.
He should have got a yes, or at least a Golden Globe.
When they were in the thing and he was going to lead a group because he got his girl pregnant.
I want to make sure before we go any further.
Just because if we talking about the same guy, then
like,
and they was like,
we're going pretty,
and they gave him,
we're going pretty far with
this. They put the money in his hand.
Yeah, he was crying.
Yeah,
let me see.
Oscar award winning
Harry Lennox. Hold on, we gonna
he definitely should have came up for that.
This is Harry Lennox.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, okay,
that's
we on it then.
Yeah.
Okay, man. It's not to slow the show, swallow the show.
No, well, listen, man. We can celebrate a little bit. Y'all won a national title.
Yeah.
Georgia. A lot of times I always say you Georgia born and raised, but you mostly raised. You're born in Virginia.
Lynchburg, Virginia. Moved here when I was 8.
So you Georgia.
Yeah, so I'm 22 now, so I've been here most half my life.
Yeah, so you've seen a lot of games from your Bulldogs, but this is the first time they were the last team to win a game.
Yeah, played in the game a few years ago on the Hail Mary that
the Hail Mary that wasn't.
Yeah. They actually, the game went the way I thought it would in the fourth quarter. Like I remember. I didn't.
No, you predicted this. You predicted this. You said before anything, you said we're gonna lose the SEC championship game, and then we're gonna come back and whoop them in the championship game. So I hope you put your money where all your mouth was and got paid.
Hey, you know what's funny? I can't find a place to bet. I wanted to bet, but
betting is everywhere.
I don't have no plugs for the bet.
I know a guy.
Okay, well I should have placed some money down with you. But yeah, the first time somebody said that Alabama fans ain't been this mad since Brown versus Boyd.
Wow.
Like they pretty mad over it. It's like
wow.
It's 1865. They not that mad, but Brown versus Boyd, right underneath that, they like, man, they finna set Tuscaloosa on fire.
I think I don't think they have anything to be mad about. They might still very much be in the midst of an unbelievable run, but if let's just say for for conversation, this was a coronation of Georgia becoming the big dog. Because for reference, you guys have been like a top sort of recruiting destination, top athletes, you know, for a long time, just never had gotten to this point. And so now it was like, okay, you're over the hill. And I think most football fans look at this and anticipate that this is going to be a run.
Yeah.
Particularly if you can start to recruit. There's just one position to me that's always been the bugaboo, which is quarterback. You know, since Matt Stafford, which was, I don't even know how many years ago, that was like the number one, I believe the number one player in the nation. But you usually don't get the number one player in the nation at that position. But I think you're going to start being in that conversation.
We got
now.
Justin Fields, who was number one.
But you didn't put him in the game.
Got Brian. We got Jake Fromm, who was a 5-star that we actually got from Alabama.
Jake Fromm was I thought he was a 3-star.
5-star from Alabama. He committed to Alabama originally.
He played like a 3-star in the pros anyway.
Yeah, definitely in the pro. Well, Joe Judge will make a 6-star. They don't even have 6-star athletes. They look like a 2-star. Anyway, but I felt like you know, when you like that little kid who stepdaddy is whooping on his mama, but you ain't strong enough yet. You like, one of these days when I get strong enough, I'm gonna, you know,
that is gonna stop. That's a terrible like reference. Like
and Georgia, they finally got they teenage muscles and they whooped them. Yeah, you know, and now I don't know. Hey, he may be trying to come back. Right, but he might pack his stuff up. Yeah, but he got to come back if he gonna come correct. Yeah, I'm gonna whoop you again. So I think I mean it was a chance to finally exercise that demon, and rarely in sports do you get a chance to get exact revenge that way, that close.
I'm about to say in that game 5-week period.
Yeah,
in the 5-week period.
So good job. For Georgia.
So congratulations, man. Because like the reality of it is, as sports fans, we all have our allegiances, but it is very hard to get titles.
Yeah,
it is very hard in any sport, college, pro, any level. It is hard to get titles. So congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's big stuff. And I'm probably doing this in reverse, but man, Happy New Year. This is our first show back in the new year.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Happy New Year. I seen your ass in last year.
Man, we had, I had to do my birthday and do my anniversary and all that stuff comes right at the top of the year. So I usually, like my year usually starts like a week later than everybody else.
Yeah, normally you'd be on the 2-month vacation.
I do feel like I cut it short. I usually stay wherever I'm going to be at till like the 15th.
And
like
you be sending all those videos, and I be showing my wife, and I be like, "Yeah, baby, I ain't Mark, but I'm trying to get us there." You know,
Hey, well, listen, I believe in the beach. I believe in the beach.
You see all the light-skinned people running around in the background, like, oh, beach balls and stuff.
We have literally never had a beach ball.
Yeah, you be in the back. Oh, is the food ready yet, babe? Is the chef? Did you talk to the chef? You talk to him? Anyway, Rob, we love you, man. We here, man. You're like, God damn.
You crazy, man. But no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the mix, rocking again. I saw that you texted me. You be texting me some wild stuff during the week. You text me. I literally bust up laughing. You was like, the second verse on Sam Cooke's. Like, I was like, Sam Cooke, what? I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you texting me about the second verse on Sam Cooke's? And it wasn't like Change Gonna Come. It was like some random Sam Cooke deep cut. Like
A Wonderful World is the name of the song.
So
I like Sam.
So in the midst of some of those type of texts, you sent me something about Kanye and setting up a meeting with Putin, and I didn't respond because you know how I feel about Kanye. Yeah, but I figured I'd give you a chance to bring me up. Yeah.
If for those of you that don't know, Kanye is through his Amir Sudan has reported that's his business strategic advisor has reported that he is looking to make Russia his second home.
Nice.
And he is trying to he's working with some developers there. The Argala. I don't want to pronounce this incorrectly. Okay, Argalorovs. Apparently, these guys are like some heavy hitters. The Senate committee back in 2016 found that they had deep ties to the Russian government, Putin, and the mob. So they're multi-billionaires. Kanye is trying to set up a meeting with Putin, and they're trying to broker this deal. So long story short, Russia finna be hot And Kanye has plans to do he's already scouted out some venues to do Sunday services there. So, and he wants Putin to come. Can you imagine Putin finding Jesus? What is this feeling of this? Who is this Jesus? I like this one. Who is this thing? This is Jesus.
Yo, I can't even.
Can I have him? No, you can't. You can have him inside. You can't own Jesus. I cannot own. I cannot own Jesus.
That's really funny. Kanye is respectfully all day crazy.
Hey, but Russia finna be hot though. That's the whole thing.
Hot doing what though? Hot and crazy.
How else Kanye make everything hot? I mean, wherever he do, it be hot. The Gap stock is up because of him. He brought Balenciaga to Gap. Everything he touched, it get back hot.
I don't know.
So the deal that they're rumored to be working, this is all rumored. This is Forbes reporting. This ain't my reporting. It's rumored though.
That would be awesome if it was your reporting.
Yeah, it would be fire. Well, it is my reporting.
This is Rob coming to you from the Kremlin.
I'm reporting what Forbes is reporting from the Kremlin. They said the deal is rumored to be worth what he's working on with these guys is push his net worth upwards of $10 billion.
I'm sure when it's all said and done, this is going to end up with him either really, really rich or buried in the snow, dead somewhere
with the Yeezy sticking out the snow. But he get that $10 billion. I think that's enough to go for Kim. Go and bring the kids home, and stop running around with that Breaking Bad looking boy. $10 billion and all the free Yeezys you can stand. Ain't no woman gonna be able to say no to that. Not even Michelle Obama say no to that.
They got
$10 billion.
They got enough money.
Not $10 billion, but they ain't got 10 of them things.
But I mean, what else?
With the free Yeezys.
What else they gonna get?
With the free Yeezy Beats, if you want.
I can't even listen. My position with Kanye is the same. I appreciate all the early work, and then even some of the weirdo Kanye songs that came later. I'm not with changing the Roddy Ricch song into a gospel song or whatever he did. I'm not with none of that. I'm not with those adaptations. And he's quotable, he's interesting, but I've never been a fan of that.
He put $10 billion on the table and some Yeezys. She coming home.
Hey man, she come if she won't, but you get home and he's still crazy.
Crazy with 10 though. 10
what good is $10 billion if you gotta snuggle up with crazy? Because real live crazy.
Because women snuggle up to crazy all the time behind the dollar figure behind it.
Hey,
and $10 billion, you can snuggle up to a whole lot of crazy.
I ain't never been a woman, so I can't answer that. Women have to judge that, whether $10 billion is enough to snuggle up to crazy.
Well, hey, I have a lot to say to that, but I'm not, because you work closely with a lot of people that.
Yeah,
but I'll just say it's a lot of beautiful women out there. They ain't with them because they look good. They ain't with them, man.
There's a lot of different reasons, but crazy would be a full stop for me. Just saying, maybe I'm rare, but we got to get in the realm of.
Yeah, true. I'm just saying, if he get that $10 billion, don't be surprised if Kim pull up with the cheering.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's nothing that goes on with Ye that would surprise me. But he's a genius. He's one of the most important creators in our time and space. But I don't know him, so his crazy ain't my issue. But
Well, hey, so look, if y'all end up in Russia, you know what I'm saying, pull up on the Sunday service. Putin, you might see Putin and Ye, and y'all might be able to hold hands and pray.
I don't want to be at the venue that has both Putin and Kanye in it. I'm good. I'm really good.
That would be. Yeah.
I don't care what they're doing. They could be literally shooting $100 bills out of a cannon for 48 hours straight. And you could just leave with whatever you get, and I still wouldn't go.
I'd be there.
Yeah, I'm a pass on
for the $100 bill. Was it the money gun?
Yeah, but they're shooting everywhere for 48 hours straight. I'm still not going.
But what if you was the only audience?
I'm still not going.
And they both got guns in their hand, and it's just you.
I'm good. I'm still good. Because you might get the money and then be headed to the airport thinking you about to go through customs, and some big Ivan Drago lookalike just comes and goes, "Come with us."
Yeah, they
and they get that's Mr. Putin's money.
They pushing you out the airplane like in Scarface.
Yeah, you already know. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA.
Oh, okay.
Klay Thompson's triumphant return.
Triumphant.
Did you see
3 years?
Did you see the Did you see the game? Did you see it from the intro and everything?
Yeah, I did. I saw the whole because it was Sunday, right? Yeah, yes. It was Sunday.
Yeah, it was
Sunday
in the middle of the. Yeah, I had to move some of my football games. Or it was in the afternoon, so it was only. I think it was like 5 afternoon games, so I put it up.
It was. I'm always excited when light skinned people do well and come back and get all these.
That's so funny, like the bond that y'all share.
Yeah, yeah. So I seen him sitting down there with his light skinned posture and his hair, and I just said, "Man, we back." You know,
back in the game.
Yeah, we back. So no, it was definitely. I mean, anybody that follows basketball or even sports period. I mean, that was an inescapable story. It's been almost 3 years since he took the floor. So to see him get out there and he hit the first shot and see Draymond come out there just for the
that was a little theatrical.
I mean, I
want to be on the floor.
Well, because dark skinned dudes, they got to get their shine too.
But I was like. Because when they stopped the game, I was like, "Oh, is Klay coming out?" And then when I saw it was Draymond, I was like,
he wanted
I was like, "Come on, bro."
Hey.
And then they explained it. I didn't know he got hurt in a warm up, but he still wanted to start. I'm like, "Bro, just sit it out."
Yeah. I look. He just wanted to be there for us. I mean,
he was still there. He was there courtside. Like what?
He wanted to be in the.
He didn't play one play. He ain't in one highlight. So what difference did that make?
It was just symbolic.
Symbolic of what?
Symbolic. Hey man, I'm out here with you when the ball go up. I want to be there on the court. I don't want to be on the side.
That was annoying to me.
I wasn't annoyed. I thought it was cool. I mean, Draymond, as the years have gone on, we've actually seen he's going to be one of them dudes that has a career, in the broadcasting or podcasting or, he's very entertaining behind the microphone. So you just get a chance to, just now seeing him on some of these podcasts and then seeing that gesture, it kind of all made sense.
Yeah, no, it's like I got to be in the moment. Like I got to, where's the camera? Yeah. It's my angle. Which one of these got me the best? Like, he's doing that. Klay, I think that moment though, Klay, it was a riveting moment. And I think as a Bulls fan, I likened it to when Derrick Rose, it wasn't the exact same, but remember the game when Derrick hit 50? When he was on the Wolves?
Timberwolves, yeah, I do.
And it was like
I remember the post game when he came in the locker room.
Yeah, no, even on the sideline report, he just broke down because he was like, I think that represented like, all right, I'm now back to my standards with doing what I know I could do. I think for Klay, it was literally when you come from a ACL to an Achilles, it was like, am I gonna play again?
Yeah.
And so when he was able to like play and get out there and run out, like you could just see the emotion. You could feel it. You could feel it through the TV. It was amazing.
Yeah, he played 19 minutes, I believe, that first game,
points,
and then
points.
He's on his minute restriction. They are 1-1 since his return, but they're 1-1 without Draymond. So we still haven't seen
the full
3-man crew, essentially the foundation of that squad. And Iguodala's back, so Iguodala's playing a lot of minutes now. Anyway, point is, that was cool.
Yeah, no, I think, there's nights where Golden State looks like far and away the best team in the NBA. And not for the obvious reasons. Everybody thinks of, three-pointers and all of that, but it's like they defend as a team. It's hard to get a good look with them. It's hard to get stops against them. Even when you're playing good defense, they still find ways to get good looks. Everybody on that team is constantly moving the whole nine. So they play a really good brand of basketball with really good players that now know their role. So I think the other contenders, so you talk about contenders. Brooklyn's definitely having some troubles. They're just they're in a midseason funk, not uncommon in the NBA over an 82-game season. But they're trying to also figure out how to work Kyrie in, but only on road games. I don't think that's working, and I don't think it's going to work. He gonna have to go ahead and get boosted, or it ain't gonna work at all. Milwaukee's in some I don't know if they've been hit by injuries. I don't watch them all that much.
Drew's been out. Grayson's been out. Like they
haven't had
Brook
everybody.
Lopez has been out for a long time. same thing even with Brooklyn though. I mean, Joe Harris hadn't played in very long time. Harden, I believe, was out last game.
Yeah.
And then you, of course, like you said, you have Kyrie and the weirdness of only playing in road games,
right?
But the practicing and that I believe, same as you almost. They got to get that worked out before the playoffs start.
Well before the playoffs,
because you can't have. Particularly like he's not a bench guy, right?
Right.
So you got a starter that's going to play close to 35 minutes, only playing in road games. Like,
right.
It's not like he's Bruce Brown or somebody.
Right. Exactly. It's because when he's
a high
in,
usage player.
Yeah. When he's in, he's an integral part of what you're trying to do, and then when he's not there, you have to figure out how to live without him. But you can't do that on a game in game out basis.
Yeah. Well, particularly with the game in, because when he's out, you guys have won with Patty Mills,
right?
And figured out, and Claxton's back. He's playing well, and Aldridge has to. I mean, he's rediscovered a little bit of who he was with the Trailblazers, like not even with the Spurs. I mean, when they give him 26, 27 minutes, I mean, this guy's regularly putting up between 18 and 20 points, 8-9 rebounds. And this is a guy
pick your poison with that team, and like he can.
Well, especially if Joe Harris get healthy.
Yeah,
it's really, and with Patty Mills.
Yeah,
with the
lot of shooting.
Patty Cake.
Yeah. A lot of shooting on that team, and better defense. But like I think you pointed out, it's hard. Defense is really a team concept
because it's based on communication.
Exactly. So when you got guys yo-yoing in and out of the lineup, even with the Bulls, we were playing top 6-7 defense for a while, and then when Lonzo went into the protocol and then Caruso got hurt, the defense started to back up, and it happened to go along with us winning 9 out of 10 out of 11 now, but the defense has been getting worse. And I heard our GM Karnashovitz on the radio saying, "Look, we got to tighten the defense back up because you're not going to be able to outshoot everybody every night. You got to be able to defend. You got to be able to get stops, and like." Caruso is the key to our defense, and he's been out.
Sure.
He's just like a disruptor. He's a tipping balls and getting on the floor. He's like a weirdo.
He don't need the ball to affect.
And that's the thing. He does not need to have a big offensive game to do that. So, I do want to talk about the Lakers. We're talking about contenders, and in this case, pretenders. What's going on over there? It's so funny. I'll start by saying this. Like, my Laker contingent of friends was hitting me with the, you see these 4 in a row. And I think when they got the 4th in a row, it put them like one game over 500 or something like that. So they had been up and down. And then somebody offered to me, well, when we haven't had everybody. AD's been out and this, that, and the third. I said, you guys are actually playing worse. I said, this 5 straight has come, or 4 straight has come with AD out. And I said, the best you guys have looked has been in this stretch. Now, it's LeBron doing something that I think is unsustainable for a 37-year-old player. And I think it's incredible that a 37-year-old player could have that type of usage, get those type of points, and impact the game. But I don't care who you are. In order for them to stay 500 and stay in the 7th, 8th, 9th seed, he's going to have to keep doing that, and I don't think he can do that.
He's obviously not, right? So when AD comes back, they've already decided that actually LeBron's going to be the backup center. So he'll be on the court. He'll switch to probably more of the point.
But AD don't even like playing center.
But he'll be there. Right. He'll be there. That's been
and I think that's probably why AD was playing very unmotivated basketball, in my opinion. How do you AD was, when he was playing, it was like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that offline. He did not seem to be very inspired. Not running up and down the court. Just seemed very lethargic. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering the whole time. Was he hurt? But speaking of more recent success that the Lakers have been having, they've won their last 6 out of 7 with LeBron, and he's playing center. Shooting 56% from the floor, 42% from 3, all at the 5, averaging 34.5 points per game over that stretch. But we've seen this before. We've seen it when Houston tried to do it. They're basically trying to play without a 5.
Yeah.
And what we know is, when you get in those, in the playoffs, particularly defensively, you're going to need somebody because they have been getting out rebounded in the stretch too. They just been shooting. Yeah. To me though, the X factor, and I'm jumping around a bit, has been Malik Monk. Malik Monk shooting the basketball like over this past 7-game stretch, he's averaging 20 points a game. On the season, he's been averaging 12. He's been in and out of the starting lineup. And to me, when he's hitting shots, particularly the deep ball, that he's shooting 39% from 3 on the whole season. Right. So if he's hitting shots like the last game they lost, I believe was against Memphis, he was 3 for 13.
Yeah,
and I think that those are the guys that, because particularly with LeBron at the 5. It just opens up so many more passing lanes, because if he's shooting the 3 or if he's inside, he's obviously a willing passer at the 5 spot. So there's going to be guys open, whether it's Melo, whether it's Russ, whether it's Malik Monk, insert whatever guy you want. Those guys are just going to have to knock down shots. And Malik Monk has proven not only that, but he seemed to be. A lot of times they talk about playing with LeBron is tough because of the expectation, but he seems to be responding. Mm-hmm. To that expectation, to that spotlight of playing with LeBron, in your Lakers, those guys, in your Laker fans, your friends, in their defense, LeBron still hasn't played in half the games. Obviously, AD has been out, so this team is still very, 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 very young in its chemistry.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is that you're going to start that clock all over again when AD comes back.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be having to figure out how this whole thing works.
Right.
And eventually, the season's going to be over with.
Yeah, so, there's only so many games.
So you got to, y'all got to, AD got to, whatever wrong with him, that got to get fixed. Yeah. LeBron, you got to stop with the whole the thing going on, whatever wrong with you. And, Russ is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I think Russ is an untradeable contract, so that's a problem because he's on your team. He's got to play.
Yeah,
and he's turnover prone, and he can't shoot well enough to play in today's NBA game. And he still gets what he gets at the rim, but he can't get at I think you see this with Ja Morant. Ja Morant gets so many points at the rim because he can't be stopped. Russ is not in that place anymore. Where you can stop him from getting to the rim, and he has to manage his game because he doesn't have those youthful legs like he used to.
Yeah.
Whereas Ja could go 1,000,000 miles an hour and does at both ends.
Dreads just bouncing.
Yeah, he's just young, and energetic.
When the dreads get to bouncing, it's on.
Yeah.
You see, I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. The block that he had,
crazy.
It's just but I guess, with Russ. People, it's not that he misses. It's the way he be missing,
and it's the way he misses.
He be hitting the side of the backboard.
One time he missed the whole. He hit the construction. It wasn't. Just, he hit the construction around the.
It was out of bounds.
Yeah. It literally he was trying to do a bank and it hit near the shot clock.
Yeah. That's out of bounds.
Yeah.
You shot it out of bounds.
You shot it out of bounds. I think the issue too with Russ is shot selection. It's when he chooses to shoot. He still gets buckets. He still manages to get, to 20, 25 a game at times. But it's bad shooting, bad turnovers at terrible times. And he's a guy that's got to have the ball in his hand. The team, and I said this in the summer, is not put together well. They don't have good pieces that play well together. And I think that's going to ultimately be the bugaboo for this team. And then the second part of that is you have really good teams. They're actually catching a break. I think the Lakers are catching a break by the Clippers having both their guys out. And they're still treading water. They have basically the same record. I think one is 20-20 and the other one's 21-20. But if Kawhi and PG were there, then they would be another team that's probably in that top 4 or 5 group.
We know they'd be better at least. At a minimum, with Paul George there and Kawhi there, it's just they're going to be better. Those guys are great on-ball defenders. Obviously, they can score. Kawhi Leonard has won championships, MVPs. Yes, you are catching the break.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you catching the break.
But when you see Memphis is now looking like they want to grow, it's not getting a lot of conversation, but Denver's getting the point guard back at some point.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray back. That'll be if they can get him back early enough, that'll be a big shot in the arm for them. And they're still playing decent ball, but I expect them to sort of move into that group. And the top 3 teams are playing out of their mind.
And you still have Portland, who once Lillard and CJ
they haven't got
back.
all their guys.
So and then Gobert, who's been out for a couple of games, he'll be back. Donovan Mitchell, it's still they got to get it figured, because these other teams, they're not having to try to get it figured. They've played together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gobert and Clarkson and Mitchell and Conley and Ingle, they didn't play together. They were the number 1 seed.
Last year,
yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jamal Murray, Jokic, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, they played together. Right. So you got Russ, who just is just like a ball of energy. He's still trying to fit. The best part of Russ's game when it's going is the pick and roll.
Right.
When he's throwing those lobs up there, the only one that can still jump up there and get him, that's playing the 5, ain't playing right now.
Right.
So that's to me. So when AD first joined the Lakers, what we talked about, he can defend the pick and roll, and they can also run the pick and roll with LeBron and with AD, because AD can roll to the basket and catch alley-oops, and so can LeBron.
Right.
It's almost what we say indefensible. Okay. Right. Well, now you bring in Russell Westbrook, who's been nothing but a pick and roll guy since the days of Steven Adams. Did it a lot last year with Thomas Bryant and the bigs, and particularly he had a lot of chemistry with Daniel Gafford. And so you're still trying to get that part of it going. If that part don't get going, it's going to be tough sledding. It's already been tough sledding, but it's going to be even tougher sledding. God forbid they got to do the play-in.
Right. Well, right now they're in the play-in.
See, they weren't for a second. I don't know where they are now.
For 2 days they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't.
But they've been in the 7, 8, 9, 10
Can we
in
start
that realm. And I think that's the big issue is Minnesota's improving. They're one of those 4 teams. Portland is one of those 4 teams. So I think the Lakers are safe as far as the playoffs concerned, but are very much not safe in terms of the play-in tournament. And in the play-in tournament, all you got to do is have back-to-back bad nights, and you at the crib. So I think they have a lot to worry about, and I think the composition of the roster doesn't get enough. It doesn't get enough conversation, because there was a time in the summer where everyone was like, "Oh, we got Melo. Oh, we got Russ." It looked like it was like the LA Fitness team that you would want to have, but not the team that you felt could win a championship. At least I didn't think they could, because I'm like, well, it was obvious that they were an older team, but I wasn't even tripping off of the age as much as I was tripping off of the pieces. Who's shooting? Like a team that didn't play to its potential because of shooting the year before, traded the shooting that they had, traded KCP, traded Kuzma, and then the one of the key defensive pieces. They let him walk in exchange for who did they ended up giving a deal to that they didn't tender to Caruso? I can't remember. But you let Caruso go.
Caruso left and Schroeder's left. And you bring in, Wayne Ellington, you bring Rondo back, and obviously Westbrook. I feel last year, obviously they injury riddled, right? LeBron was hurt, and then AD got hurt in the first series, and so even when they come back,
it was only one series for them.
That's what I'm saying. He got hurt in the obviously against the Suns, and it just went off the rails. For me, again, you got to be healthy. You got to be healthy, and I think that if they can somehow figure that part out. Again, what you said in the last podcast, you got a guy like LeBron playing the way he's playing. If he can sustain that, or anytime you got a player that special, you got a shot.
Yeah, no, I think with LeBron, I think you give him a puncher's chance, but I think it's funny because
do you think he the MVP?
No.
He the MVP.
Nah, not to me. And I'll tell you why. Let me finish my point, and then I'll answer that. Like, it's interesting to me that in the world of LeBron, Bronsexuals, I'll call them, that love Bron so much.
So original.
Everybody goes, oh, you got to be healthy. He got to have his team. But nobody said that when it was Brooklyn going against Milwaukee with Harden, who was out there literally on one leg, and Kyrie, who wasn't playing at all. Injuries are part of the game, always have been. And if you take the court, the expectation is to win. There's some guys you can't afford to lose. And obviously, teams not playing at their full strength, it's hard. But you got to play. And you got to, you only got so many years you can do this. LeBron's in what, year 18? 19? You only got so many years you can do this. And I think this is another year that you can write off. I don't think they're going to go. I think you give LeBron a puncher's chance. But the other teams are just too good. It's like he's had years where his teams have gotten to the finals where he didn't, quote unquote, have a lot of help, but it fell in a way where there was no other team that could really take them down. So they got to the finals. I don't think that's the case this year. There's lots of teams to go through. And now if they all get hurt and then they get healthy, I think the other part is like you look at their schedule. In those games, those 4 or 5 straight they won, they were all against below 500 teams. Even though the Hawks are a good team, they're below 500 at that time.
We're not even in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, you have a good collection of players that hasn't started playing well yet. But it was like you ripped off 4 straight against 4 under 500. Then you play the one good team that you play, and you got throttled at home by 20-something points by a good team. And not even a great team in the West, a team on the rise. And I think we've seen a lot of Houston, OKC, Sacramento on the schedule.
Sacramento's on the schedule
tonight. And then, but at some point, you're going to get a run of Denver, Dallas, Utah, Phoenix, Golden State, and then we're going to see.
We're going to see.
We are absolutely going to see.
Let it all play out.
Yeah, no, they hope that we get a lot of more seasons so more can play out, because right now, I'm unimpressed by they 21-20, even with the injuries, because everybody's dealing with injuries and COVID. Like my Bulls were playing with 4 guys that were on 10 days at one point, and we still managed to get wins, and we still playing without Caruso, and we've been playing without starting power forward all year. So
yeah, but you got your guys though. You got
we played without them too. Like we played like everybody's been out. Like we've lost there was one point where all 15 guys that were at missed time due to COVID.
Was that at the same time?
Not at the same time. No, absolutely not at the same time. But between injuries and COVID, everybody's missed time. Every single guy in the rotation.
Look. Hey, it's been 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Since AD's been out. They said they're gonna reevaluate in the 4th week.
Yeah.
So we had to check.
But AD always.
Hey, what's wrong with him?
He always just. It's like his leg.
Yeah.
It's like he got the stanky leg.
And he always, even when he playing, he go into the locker room for 20, 30 minutes at a time.
I think he be having a boo-boo and stuff. Like, I ain't got a boo-boo. I'll be right back.
I got a boo-boo and I have a boo-boo.
Yeah, I don't know, man. AD from the crib. I don't know.
And then he take every time he fall, he take 12 minutes to get up.
No, every time you even as a not a Laker fan, I'd be worried. I'd be wanting to get up for the crib. Like, you from Chicago, get up.
Yeah, but you see him walking out there getting ready to jump. Like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
You've been with a jump ball.
And he falls a lot.
All the time.
Like, he falls more than the average player.
You think he drank enough milk coming up?
I don't know.
I mean, he's like he gotta get, he got them baby deer legs.
Yeah, no, he like Bambi.
Like, he still ain't used to being tall.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He wasn't tall,
but he been tall.
And then he been tall for a minute now.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
listen.
You've been 7 feet for like 10 years now.
I'll say this, and I'm gonna say it. It's like Lakers went to 6 straight lotteries, missed the playoffs 6 straight years. Then they won a bubble ring when nobody had to travel, no crowds.
So no home field advantage.
No home court.
No home court advantage. And you away from your family and your crib.
Yeah, they won that. So they got their little ring. That was probably
the toughest ring, too.
They got their little ring, and they, 60-game, 57-game season. And then they came back the next year, and they got bounced in the first round, and now they 21-20. Ask yourself, who are the Lakers really? I think the Lakers are really missing. I think they're that.
So you think they're the injured Lakers are the real Lakers?
I think you could.
When they were healthy, they won.
Okay.
All right.
6 years out the playoffs.
And LeBron came and they won a ring in 2 seasons. That's what he did.
LeBron came and won a ring in not an 82-game season.
In 2 seasons.
In a time when everybody's lungs was filled with the coronavirus. So he won in the coronavirus league. So and now they 21-20. We'll see But I'm of the belief that those are the Lakers. Not the bubble ring Lakers, the Lakers that lose all the time or lose as much as they win. That's the Lakers that I think. Anyways, it was funny, man. You hit me over the weekend. So we're watching, I guess this was Sunday. I'm watching the games at my crib. He's watching the games at his crib. And I always know, like, it's funny because we have days where we we'll be texting each other, or other days we'll be leaving each other
voice notes,
yeah. Which is the weirdest way to have a conversation. But we'll do it for like an hour, like da da da, and then send da 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 send.
Because sometimes I'm like, this is gonna be too long to text.
100%.
I don't want the tone to get misconstrued. I want you to hear how I want to say it.
Right. So this fool hits me during the game, and golly, it was. I guess we were playing the Vikings, and he was like, "Why they don't just run Montgomery?" And I'm watching the game, so I'm looking. I have 7 screens, so and then that 7, it was the last week where playoffs would be determined, and there was 4 games that had 2 teams that were at that moment. No, this was second to the last week. 2 teams that were both in the playoff hunt, and then there were 3 games where there was 1 team in the playoff hunt, and then there was 1 game on the slate that had 2 teams that season had already ended, which was my Bears game. I think it was the Bears against the Giants. This fool's hit me about why Nagy's not running the ball. I'm like, dude, you got 5 screens. Why do you even have this game on? Why are you even watching our game? And I said I'm awake because I never responded. Why the hell were you watching my game? Like, you're watching the Bears Giants.
Hey, because first of all, I like Montgomery. And secondly, a lot of times I'll have, like I told you, like I don't have all the games. And I don't want to say I only have 5
But
screens.
there was 5 games that had playoff implications.
I would flip back and forth. I have 2 games on one TV. So when, if it's a commercial or something,
okay,
I'll hit the previous
on the
button.
Main, okay.
Yeah, and it'll be on there.
But even with that, we had out of the full slate of 7, we had the 1 game that literally only the people in those markets should have been watching. Because when I thought about that, I was like, bruh,
I got no business watching my game. Turn that
because
off.
The irony of it was, because then I started looking, and I go, I'm like, I wouldn't be watching this game if I was. In fact, that particular week, I didn't even. It's the first time y'all asked me too. I didn't even have us on the main.
Who was on the main? Put them on the main.
I think I had the Steelers.
I ain't watched the Falcon game in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. If I don't have money or fantasy in there, I don't even have them on.
That's so funny.
Like, I don't even put the Falcons on.
Falcons had a better season than I think people thought they would.
I don't care. I do not care what they be having. Unless they get Deshaun or they get Russell. If somehow Sierra can get Russell to come on home to Covington, Georgia. Or Conyers. I think it was Covington. Conyers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it.
Get her to come on.
I don't think the problem is quarterback, though.
The problem is not necessarily
this was a rebuilding year for you.
But we need a brother behind center. That's for me to come back anyway. And then you got Deshaun from
just any brother. What if I brought you like EJ Manuel? Like, is that you cool with that? Any brother will do?
I'd have to take it under, that's something I got to look at. You bring in EJ Manuel, you bring in Henri Burris, you know what I'm saying? You bring in RG3, you know what I'm saying? I got
RG3's broadcasting college games.
That's something I'm going to have to look at.
He's fine where he is.
I have to reconsider. And like I told you, I think Matt Ryan is, obviously he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but I think he can win a Super Bowl. I just don't think I think that ship in Atlanta has sailed. That's what I think. Yeah. And because you look at, you say, it's a rebuild, is this, is that. That's why Tom is so good. Tom went out there without all his damn receivers except for Mike Evans and still put up numbers, still, still able to secure at least the 2nd seed, which bugged me out. We can I was about to say segue, your favorite word.
Yeah.
But as I was looking, and we're talking about NFL for a second, right? So I was like, all right, looking at the playoff matchups. I was like, what? I just assumed Tom had a bye.
I know, right?
He got to play. He got to play in that week. Then I was like on the other side, I'm like, Mahomes playing too.
Yeah.
So you got basically you have the last 3 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are playing in a wild card, and Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you got Tannehill over here, like, what's happening?
Yeah, chilling.
Tannehill,
and he need to play.
He got he
need the reps.
But through Julio never being out there, AJ Brown being hurt, Derrick Henry being hurt the whole time, somehow they found themselves with the first round bye. You got Green Bay with the first round bye, but it bugged me out to see.
You got to give Vrabel a lot of credit
because so my take was about to be preparing for the show. I was like, you know what? I don't even know what's going on with the first weekend because playoffs don't start till Tom get out there. Tom is out there the first week.
Yes.
He's one.
Oh, no, it's going down. Like, the whole new format, I think, is adding so much more excitement. Like,
they out there.
Wild card weekend is going to be lit.
They're going to be Mahomes.
Going to be lit.
And they the Super Bowl MVP. They out there.
Yeah, they got to play. And that's the other thing that I'm irritated by, though, is Green Bay gets to sit back and
chill.
And
it go through.
And then you got to go through stinking Lambeaux and,
Yeah, you do. But okay.
Is it wrong to wish a sinkhole
on that stadium?
Like, is that wrong? To root for a sinkhole,
as long as ain't nobody in it.
No, that's cool.
No,
that's empty.
The empty sinkhole, the whole stadium just go down.
Just swallow.
Hey, look. But that's gonna be great theater to see Tom and Tom come to Green Bay and play.
Is that the second round matchup, or are you just anticipating?
I'm just anticipating.
They'll make it through.
You gotta. I don't see, and that's how good Tom Brady is. He's lost Antonio Brown. He lost Chris Godwin. Gronk's been in and out of the lineup, and they went 13-4.
Yeah, listen, but I think anybody can be beat on any day.
How you gonna go? That don't even sound right. 13-4, but it's 17-game season now.
That's the thing that makes me nervous.
13-4 sounds weird.
It sounds It's gonna take some time to get used to that.
It's supposed to be 13-3.
Green Bay is the only team that looks like I feel like they're gonna win every time. Even when they lose, I feel like they're gonna win.
Yeah,
but they're the only team. Even Tampa Bay doesn't give me that feeling.
Tampa Bay gives me that feeling at home.
They could be had.
At home, they were averaging over 30 points a game.
But then who shut them out at home? Somebody shut them out at home.
Yeah, they did. It was somebody that wasn't supposed to shut them out.
I'm about to say, it's somebody that wasn't crazy.
It was like a bad team. Anyway, they lost. Yeah, it was the first time he had been shut down. We talked about it in like 12 years or so.
Yeah, it's madness. Is there anything about the matchups that you like? Does anybody have a bad matchup? Any particular game you looking forward to just watching as a fan? Because now your college season is done. You sitting back fat. You got the championship. You feeling good. You're going to ride that out all year, all year long. But now you can sit back and kind of just look at the football and enjoy it. Have you sort of realigned with any particular team, or you rooting for a player or a coach?
I'm rooting for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That's who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Mike
that's
Tomlin.
a tough route.
Yeah, it is.
Not for Mike, just because I like Ben don't have many throws left in that arm.
No, he's got he's got like in his 6 shooter, he got like 1 bullet left.
Yeah,
one bullet left. He need to go out there and see.
And it'll be different if we had
something to do with LeBron doing whatever he doing. Drink that, eat that, smoke that.
Listen, man, I think with any athlete, we talk about it all the time. Father Time is undefeated. It'll eventually get LeBron. It will eventually get Brady. Although Brady's his youthful appearance is off-putting.
But it's
like, what's happening?
But look though, as it relates to Brady, what he's had throughout his career is great offensive line pass protection.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? What I just said, offensive line? I should have just said pass protection. Never.
Well, because like offensive line is not the only people responsible in pass pro.
That's true. Yes, the backs,
running backs, tight ends.
Yeah, the backs, tight ends, and then you got in your receivers got to call out the high read. Yeah. Okay, so and to that point, Tampa Bay is number 1 in sack differential, which is a stat that I did not know even existed. But in prepping for the show, they sacked the quarterback more than their quarterback gets sacked, better than any team in the league.
Yeah.
And so even you take it a step further, we start talking about Tom, but you start talking about winning games.
Yeah.
If you're putting a quarterback in the dirt more than the other team is putting your quarterback in the dirt, that's going to give you an opportunity to win some games. So And then now you insert Tom Brady as being the quarterback that's not on the ground. Well, we always talk about how he looks so comfortable in the pocket throughout his entire career. Even when there's a storm going on around him, he has an uncanny ability to reset the pocket. And if quarterbacks are looking, he ain't moving 5-6 feet, he's moving inches. He's resetting the quarterback slide over 8 inches. Boom, this many. And
it's enough for him to fundamentally get the ball out the way he always gets it out, the muscle memory. Interesting thing about this that I noticed, like, because when we got what I hoped past tense and continue to hope present tense is a franchise quarterback, you start to look at the traits that the greats have, right? So you look at Tom, you look at the recently retired Breeze, you look at Aaron Rodgers. And one of the reasons, like you talk about offensive line play, and that's part of it, but these guys, because they can recognize things, everything for quarterback is about recognition. Pre-snap, and then even sometimes defense will show you something pre-snap and then jump into something else. The ability to process that allows them to decide, is this a play that I can win on? Because sometimes the defense gets it right. And these guys can recognize that. They get the ball out of their hands and they either take a check or they throw the ball on the ground and they go, I'm going to fight another day. Because eventually, and it may not be this drive, it may not be the next drive, you're going to give me the thing that I recognize that I can beat you on.
That's being a grinder.
Right. Yeah. So you're just like, I'm not tripping. But what they avoid is taking the sacks by trying to play hero ball, taking a play that doesn't have a chance of winning, and then I'm going to use my athleticism to try to make a play where there's no play. Even when you do that, you have to choose wisely and correctly so that the rules will, because the rules are there to keep you upright. They can't hit you low. They can't hit you high. It's like you got about from here to here where you can hit a quarterback, right?
Yeah, and I think Tom got his torso reduced a little bit. So I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, but when you got guys running a gazillion miles an hour, that's a small target area.
And that low rule came from Tom Brady, from him getting hurt week 1. And the Patriots
still won 11-5.
10-6, 11-5, 11-5 with White Castle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who had never started a game in college or the pro since high school. So
white privilege.
But he came through that year.
And he got a big contract from Kansas City.
Yes, he did. But I think that's the biggest thing where you have to decide if you're going to let the rules benefit you. It cost Cam Newton years off of his career of what I'm talking about, the inability to recognize, kill a bad play, live for a great play. When you're in a place where you're using your physicality, your gifts, your athleticism to try to create plays, and now the rules don't work for you, you're out the pocket and guys are coming. I mean, there's how many highlights of guys cracking him in his head. And I worry the same thing about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is trying to be a hero out there. He's a great quarterback, a great young quarterback, but when he's not getting down, he's not getting out of bounds, he's jumping over dudes, he's dropping his shoulder. That caused Cam's 32 years old. Now, regardless, we can always debate his effectiveness in the league, but he should have a job for longer than 32. He's not going to have a job next year.
And I think, not to...
And a lot of it has to do with injury.
Turn it that way, but, I think with his lack of dedication to learning how to be a proficient pocket passer, footwork, because, and look, hey, he made it a long way doing what he was doing, but the NFL game, you look at, and it's not just quarterback, you look at the receiver position, it's all about being able to read coverages, knowing how to run routes. Jerry Rice wasn't a fast guy, but he had the mental side of it. And you look at Antonio Brown does not have the mental side of it. He's out of the game right now.
Yeah.
His last full season was 2018.
Yeah.
So when you look at, and that's what I tell my son, like eventually, when you're at the lower levels, your physicality is going to be the thing that, because just they don't make big fast guys, but after once you start to get up to the pro level, the mental side is where all the separation takes place. You look at a guy like Steph Curry. Steph Curry does not play above the rim. I don't think anybody listening to my voice or in this room can remember an in-game dunk that Steph Curry had. He consistently plays beneath the rim. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. A lot of these guys, the guys can jump higher. You look at Russell Westbrook. What's the separator between him and Steph Curry? It's the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
So taking it back to Cam Newton, Cam Newton has not seemingly embraced. He's embraced social media. He's got great clips of him talking about what he gonna do and how he gonna do it. And I ain't never seen this Cam before. He's got.
He's never seen what?
This Cam before.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'm scared of. This is what he last year before. I ain't never seen this Cam before. Great.
Yeah.
Great. And we haven't seen it. And ironically, we didn't see a Cam play that bad before either. But
I mean, listen, if you can't push a football, I don't care who you are. If you can't push a football with accuracy past 20 yards, your days are numbered. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care.
And I think he was able to do that earlier because of just his physicality. But as you get older, you got to know.
But even he's deteriorated even as a passer. He didn't improve, but he's actually gotten worse.
Because I think his physical skills are diminishing.
Yeah,
so I think it's getting worse.
I think through shoulder injury, shoulder surgery.
Think about this. I think that right now, if you put Cameron Newton and Tom Brady through passer drills, I think Cameron's going to look better.
I don't think so. Like he can. I don't know if you watch him
physically. I still think he's physically more gifted than Tom Brady.
He can't even.
But I think
can't even throw
when the bullets are flying, I think that's when all that stuff goes out of the window.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes without question what you're saying because he's relied on athleticism. And the point that I was making is that the rules are set up to benefit a quarterback in the pocket so that you can play. That's the reason that Tom is here at 44 years old. He doesn't get hit that much, and he doesn't put himself in position to get hit that much. And then when he is out of the pocket, he gets down. And it's even like a guy like Russ. Russ runs, but he's always down. The times that Russ has been banged up, he got banged in the pocket behind a leaky offensive line. And in fact, when he broke his hand, I think he broke it on a helmet in the pocket. But when he gets out the pocket, he knows how to get down. You got to use the rules to elongate your career because starting quarterbacks in the NFL make right now $25 million-ish a year. If you want a franchise, if Baker Mayfield gets a franchise, what is he going to get, 29, 30 million this year? So you're looking at the basic math. I'm looking at it going, stay upright. Just literally stay upright, and you're good for $25 million if you're one of the top 32 players at the position. If you're a backup, you're 5 to 7. That's real money.
Chase Daniels made a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I think I sent you that text. Chase Daniels has made $30 million in his career, and he's 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
White privilege.
Yeah, I mean, but we even at a point right now. No, but you know what's funny though? We're even at a point right now where we're starting to see the Jacoby Brissetts. That used to be something we're gonna keep it real with y'all. Black quarterbacks never got the opportunity to be the backup guy for whatever reason. You either had to be stunting or you weren't playing. Now we're starting to see the Jacoby Brissetts and people like that just kind of hanging around the league, getting that
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, that $3 to $5 million. Get your pension.
Yeah. I mean,
get your time served in the league, man.
Yeah. I'm obviously I'll be looking forward to the NFL games this weekend.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. If you really look at it, it's the last 4 out of 5 Super Bowl champs. Because I mean, Brady won the one right before.
Right.
Philly won.
Yeah.
But those quarterbacks are taking the field this week, so it'll be.
One of the things I noticed too is like 14 teams in the playoffs.
Joe Burrows is in there.
Yeah, Joe
Burrows is taking on David Carr, which to me is when people were talking about, man, is he gonna come out? Because Cincinnati was so bad.
Yeah,
and now they're in the playoffs. Playoffs. 2 seasons later?
Yeah. Jeez. And it proves that one thing it proves is that if you can get the right answer at quarterback, it'll put you in the game. It'll put you in play. Because Cincinnati has been and probably continues to be a terrible organization, terribly run and operated organization. That was always their reputation. But you get the quarterback right, and it starts to, nobody talks about their front office anymore. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah,
you're just talking about
Jamar Chase.
You're talking about Jamar Chase. Yeah. You're talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, so ultimately, you get that right. The kid for the LA Chargers is outstanding.
Herbert.
It's funny because
who Flores wanted in Miami.
What's that?
They fired.
Yeah, no, listen.
Flores and Flores wanted Herbert. They wanted Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like,
and they were talking about his attitude. Just was like, he become a curmudgeon around the headquarters, Miami headquarters. Was like, that's the guy I wanted.
Sure. Well,
and now you're firing me.
Well, the thing is,
but it ain't because of the defense. He turned that defense around.
Quarterbacks get coaches fired, or they get them new contracts. It's that simple. If you show me a average coach or a below average coach, and I will guarantee you he's playing with a terrible quarterback.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a Tua guy. I like Tua, but the reality of it is, personnel guys' job is to get the right guy. Whatever they had going at Miami, they got the wrong guy.
Right.
The right guy went to Los Angeles. Period.
And that's and didn't Hugh Jackson wanted he wanted Patrick Mahomes.
That wasn't the same draft.
It wasn't the same.
No.
So who did he want? Oh, do you want Josh Allen? Josh Allen. Okay.
That was a Josh
Another
Allen.
running, throwing machine.
Yeah. No, listen, man, you gotta get it right. I tell people all the time, as it relates to my business, because people go, nobody knew that Patrick Mahomes was gonna be that. And nobody knew that George Kittle, because I always say, George Kittle, the Bears took Adam Shaheen out of Ashland College in the second round when George Kittle went in the fifth. And everyone goes, well, nobody knew. Well, you know what? That's their job to know.
Right.
Like, nobody knew that Lonnie Bro would become one of the most influential artists in the music industry. I knew. Tab knew. That's our job. That's what we get. And he turns into Frank Ocean. That's what I get paid to do. That's what we in the music industry get paid to identify that. They get paid to identify players, and when you don't do it, you lose your job. And guys like Ryan Pace and those guys are out. I don't know if Matt Nagy can coach or not. He never had a quarterback until 1 year. And for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, he chose not to give that guy any first-team reps. We're going to do the same thing. I knew that wasn't going to work because you didn't have Alex Smith. It was easy to do that. That was a playoff team.
Right. It was a playoff team.
That was a playoff team that you asked him to sit on. That wasn't a stretch.
Right. Now, the same thing they did, if you take it back to, with Steve McNair, Chris Chandler, you take it back to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, you take it back to Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Those are winning teams.
Yeah, and that formula works.
Right.
Now, the money doesn't allow you to dictate. Well, I guess maybe now it could, given the cap. But the point is, though, the people want to see, if you go out and you draft Trevor Lawrence, they want to see Trevor Lawrence.
Especially when you stink.
Yeah.
Because at that point, he's not only the only thing that you have that is box office, he literally gives you the best chance to win based what was on the roster.
Right.
And the thing that I noticed, and I'll close the show by saying this.
They had Vic with Chris Chandler, too.
Exactly.
So, for a minute, Chris Chandler sat in front of two guys.
Yeah.
That
ended up being guys.
Pro Bowler guys.
Yeah. I'll say this: when you look at how this all broke with these quarterbacks this year, Lawrence competed with Minshew in training camp, and they split snaps, and then eventually they go, all right, we're going with this guy, and they got that guy out of there. The Bears were like, oh, we're gonna sit our guy and we're gonna play Andy Dalton, and that lasted 2.5 games.
He got hurt. Yeah.
Right.
Rushing for a first down.
But we still had
I'm just saying the irony, right? We
still had another quarterback making $18 million a year that they could have played ahead of him if they really wanted to do that.
Who?
Foles.
Oh, Nick. Okay.
But never gave him
$18 million.
Never gave him any first team reps.
18.
But what did New England do? When training camp started, they cut Cam and said, you're our quarterback, and gave that quarterback every rep, every opportunity to win. And they won. And he didn't have, I know everybody wanted to go crazy. He didn't have the craziest year. He had a good year. His rookie year was worse than Baker Mayfield's rookie year. So let's all settle it back down. But what they did is they gave him good defense, they gave him good running game, they gave him all the elements to win you games. And he didn't screw it up. I was gonna say he didn't F it up, but he didn't screw it up. The Bears mishandled the field situation. Whether he could ultimately end up playing or not, we're never going to know till we get whatever coaching in there. But they didn't give him any chance the team any chance to win. And I don't think Urban Meyer did with Lawrence down there either. They didn't put him in a position to win. They didn't let him get all the time that he needed to be. There were games in preseason where he wasn't playing with the first team. Justin Fields never played with the first team the whole training camp or preseason. First team line, first team receivers, nothing. The first time he played with the first team was against Cleveland, where he got sacked 9 times.
Yeah, y'all giving up. Chicago and Baltimore giving up a lot of sacks.
And the win rate for rushers were, the pressure was there. So you got a kid who's trying to figure
pieces, man. Mooney, Robinson.
Yeah, now it's a teardown. Now I think it's a teardown.
Komet.
Yeah. Like, I think obviously those guys are the contract, but I think it's a teardown. I think you get rid of all the veteran presence. You get those guys, you try to build around them. It's going to be another bad year next year. Terrible.
Yeah, but if Fields take a step forward, it don't have to be. If Fields takes a step forward, it does not have to be. If you ultimately, if you got that part right, you should be able to have a much more engaging, exciting season than what it was.
I'm excited that at least
because he gonna get all the reps going into this season.
He should get them all training camp, pre-camp, 7-on-7, 7-on-7, 11-on-11, whatever. No, I think I'm excited. I know the Bears have asked to talk to everybody, but they have the first official interview with Flores, and he's somebody I would take in 2 seconds.
Really? They're gonna get Flores? That would be awesome.
We have the first interview.
If y'all hire Flores, I'm with the Bears next year.
I mean, I would listen. I think he had everything but his quarterback.
Y'all get Flores, I'm in.
Because let's be honest, Flores is the most successful, unless I'm forgetting somebody, the most successful head coach from a Belichick coaching tree.
No, you might. Yeah, now you got me thinking on the spot.
I might be wrong. That's off the dome, but
yeah.
I got
probably,
and I'll put it this way: nobody's gone and I mean, I guess Josh McDaniels technically won a playoff game with Denver, but otherwise it was a failure.
It was a disaster the mother season.
O'Brien, Charlie Weiss,
OC
in college
at
Alabama.
OC at Alabama, gonna interview for. I think he's going to interview
Jacksonville or Miami, one of those teams. Anyway,
one of them Florida teams.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, listen. I know we run a little long. We first day back. So we had to get all into the stuff, but I'm excited. It's a lot of stuff going on. When we come back next week, we'll be talking about who survived the first wild card round. We're coming up to the halfway, the actual, not so much the All-Star break, but the halfway point in the NBA where your teams have played about 41 games-ish. We're very close to that. If not that, some teams have played 41, some a little bit less. So we have at least a good read on like sort of the midpoint report card, and we did a little bit of that today. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit more on the next episode. So there's plenty of things to talk about. We'll come back and get some of the other things that we missed out on today. But in the meantime, like always, you can catch us on our socials, which is Stat Lines Matter, across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And most importantly, we would like you to subscribe on Apple Podcast or check in and subscribe, like, and get the notifications of our podcast on YouTube, which is at Stat Lines Matter as well. My name is Mark Stewart. This is my partner, Rob Hunter. We doing this for you each and every week. Man, lock in. We're going to do it fun. We're going to have a good time with this. This is Stat Lines Matter. Peace.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.